can we make a film like Avatar here? Okay, number one, no money. They always say that. Number two, we don't have enough talent, manpower. Number three, we don't have the marketing aptitude for the return on investment. The tiger in Life of Pi was created in Cyberjaya, just to let you know. That portion of the tiger was done in Cyberjaya. But their budget to do that can make 10 local films here. Like in Malaysia, I mean, sorry to say, I always tell the filmmakers, hey, why? After 10 minutes, I'm still conscious I'm watching a film. Why can't I disappear into your film in the first 3 minutes? Because that's what visual is all about. Visual is, forget the actor. You know the actor, you know the actress, you know whoever. But you drop inside within 1-2 minutes. But here after 10 minutes or so, I'm still watching a movie. Salah. Apprentice. Yang Hanafi Su was inside. That one is a good example. Hanafi Su, in the hands of a great director like Bun Feng, why the acting was so good? Yes. So it shows it's a Malaysian actor. The story is also, any Malaysian technically could have made it. But you look at how Bun Feng creates the scene. Everything happens in an apartment. I mean, some of the drama thing is in an apartment. But the way he handles it, it's like, kenapa kita tak boleh buat kat sini? I mean, you know, there's no answer here. It's a bit like I'm saying, I give the same script to 3 directors. One from Malaysia, one from Singapore, one from Thailand. I'll come up with 3 different things. Before we came along in 2001 and 2 with the animation industry agenda, everyone was making animation for RTM. Pak Hassan can vouch for this. Film Negara was producing Sang Kancil and all that. So that's the first wave of animation. Belum masuk technology, digital and all that. So the animation mindset was more on what RTM wants. In 2002, when local companies began to do work for Disney Channel and Cartoon Network, suddenly they realized the game was different. They just cannot do macam cincai-cincai, because the quality supervisor would be there and they would be spending weekends, holidays, perfecting rendering, movements and all that. But guess what? These are the guys who today are making Bobo Boy, Agent Ali and Upin and Ipin. That's how it is. This industry is about craft. Your paper qualification is only the beginning. After that, your employer will ask, how many projects have you done? So that's why for me, internship and mentorship is very important. The animation industry was developed, kick-started by our team, in Cyberjaya. That was how Upin and Ipin was born. Yes, so we built the animation industry because it was a science and technology agenda. But we made it, we didn't say it was film. We said it was content. We were preparing content for the digital environment, iPad and streaming and all that. But the film industry is still backward. We built the animation industry from scratch. What did it take us? You think Upin and Ipin was born just like that? It took us 12 years to put the track correctly. But when doing animation, we were not disturbed because it was a science and technology agenda. Nobody kacau. The 150 million we get every year, we know where to channel them. And guess where did we channel them? Skills development. Okay, the best animators menang kita punya creative program or whatever contest we have, we bring them to Los Angeles. 3 days, go and see how they do their comics and all that. We go to Comic Con, San Diego, tunjuk, everything. Took them to Korea, where they have this OSMU principle, OSMU, one source, multiple use. Nobody create assets just like that. You make an asset with a view of, you know, Star Wars, Upin and Ipin. But the real money is when Upin and Ipin is known by 12 million kids. And you can put the poster or the chop on the t-shirt, 12 million will buy. This is the fragmentation. The whole ecosystem is still based on this as verticals. And they're all under different ministries also. So meaning policies are different. Yet, Dato, ladies and gentlemen, this is the connecting pillars. For not only film, for arts, for everything. Make a film, you still need music. You make a music video, you still need somebody from the performing arts, so dance and all this kind of everything. Fashion is needed for film. This is the problem in Malaysia. Instead of seeing this as a coordinated, connected industry, everybody is doing vertical and under different ministry. So you are right. That strand called Film and TV, other agency called FINAS. If we look at games and animation, ada lagi satu agency called MDEC, Multimedia Development Corporation, where I used to work. If you look at performing arts, you have Cendana. Yes, Cendana and maybe Penang Society or something like that. Music, lagi, no parent at this moment. Then they put it under FINAS. Recently they put it under FINAS. Tak ada tempat lain lagi. Now what happened to MAPC, whatever, MACP dengan music MMA semua, tak tahu. Fashion comes under, tak tahu which parent. Others, plenty. What, we don't know, music, instrument. So, our challenge is to integrate. I mean, this is what is happening right now. Each vertical has its own skill set development program, has its own policy. What I'm saying here, this is our flaw, our mistake. So how are you going to function? Right hand, don't talk to the left, left, don't talk to the right, top, don't talk to the bottom. And when each have their own agenda, this is the problem. Every vertical has their own funding, their own policy, and they don't talk. And the kiasu effect is everybody nak jadi terror with one another. The only way to make the person look good is to make somebody else look no good. That is also the problem with the United States of Malaysia. I want to be better. You know, the arts want to be better than film. Padahal both are connected. And your kiasu is based on that. So, and our community is very small, right? So people get confused, right? Where you want to go? Cendana ke? You want to go to, you know, film industry ke? Seniman ke? Dah. This is what we should be doing. All the verticals, skill set, cut across. Funding, cut across. Because you know how funding happens right now. You get funding from MDEC. After that, you go to FINAS. So you collect from the same government agency. That's how the situation is right now. But once when you have a funding that cuts across, it means now we can say, oh, we can now take all these games, performing arts, all under one. Because the policy would have aligned all of them. Without a singular policy, no matter what each ministry tries to do, it will never get there. You look at government effort so far. Isn't Bank Simpanan Nasional dulu has the money for films and all that? Yes, they have 200 million. But you're giving it to the bank whose specialized area is housing loan and car loan. When people come and ask for grant for music, theatre, play, arts exhibition, arts installation, gallery or whatever, what kind of people need to sit there to hear? If you have someone who tongong, tak tahu anything, you go to the last person, you only sit there and say, but I don't know. They really don't know. Now, this is the sad part. They don't know. At least we belong to the generation, if I don't know, I ask. What's so malu about asking? But unfortunately, the evaluation committee is not like that. They will pick the tin kosong. Pandai means you surround yourself with people who know. It applies to Menteri, it applies to anybody. You must surround yourself with people who know. Because you wouldn't know anything, it's okay. You are elected or you are given the job. But janganlah ingat because of the job, I know everything. My old teacher at Malay College used to say, saya tanya, saya jawab, saya lah yang pandai. So, when you have that attitude, habislah. Malaysia is focused more on 5G, delivery. But what do we deliver? If we just focus on deliver 5G, 6G, 7G, 8G, we are delivering only other people's content. Remember in the beginning, Astro? It was all about foreign programs. And yet half of the time, what do we worry about? Foreign influence. Our own grandchildren also don't know nasi lemak lah. Yeah, why? Because your content is fully dominated, right? If we do not focus on our own local content, this delivery system will only deliver foreign content. 10 years time, we wonder, why our children don't know nasi lemak? They're all senang aja, McDonald's, wow. Or worse still, Korean invasion. All our wives only cooking what? Kyochon chicken. Where's my ayam goreng rempah? Or nyonya chicken kan? There. You want to worry about culture? I tell the Ministry of Culture, there. This is your problem. 5G besok, everybody can receive on your phone, in the car, everywhere. Cepat. And if we do not produce our own content, that's number one. And if we do not produce good content pula, it's not just a matter of producing content. Your content must be good. The policy under Korean culture export, that their films, theatre, music must show elements of Korean culture. So you can have a gangster movie. There will always be a scene where that fella gangster goes home, opens his shoes before entering the house. Yes? And then the wife would come up in a kimono, which is different from the Japanese kimono. The food is always there. You look at the wailing there. When they were discussing who was murdering whoever, they were still eating. And then a lot of close-ups, medium close-up, so now we don't need to explain how come there's even a Korean restaurant in Kampung Baru. KL, 2001 with Leo Mogi. He's now Tan Sri. He was minister at that time. Because it was a government high level, the Korean government also gave us a briefing. What was the briefing? Korean culture content export policy, 1998 to 2010, a 12-year plan. It's called Korean Culture Content Export Policy. They form an agency known as KOCA, Korean Culture Content Agency. What did they brief us? First of all, KPI. By mid-2005, I mean the new century kan, 21st, K-pop must overtake J-pop. The world must know the difference between Korean culture and Japanese culture. Korean manufactured goods must be accepted as on par with Japan and the rest of the world. Now, what did the policy do? I give you just a summary. From 1999-2000, they were mining who are the two talent that could take over J-pop. Who did they find? One was called Rain, and the other was called Boa, B-O-A. Yeah, talent mining. And how did that talent mining happen? Every part of Korea had competition. But they were all under a single government policy. Films. This is what they tell to the film industry. Okay, I'm dramatizing it a bit. Huh? For the film part, this agency say, hey, you filmmaker, you want to make a gangster film, a love story, a sexual story, drama, or whatever, I don't care. But in that film, everybody must eat. There must be a scene showing people eating. And you must show the world kimchi, tteokbokki, bami pap lah, you korek the nasi kerak dalam tu kan, show. Because that is the only way you're going to get government funding. So, everybody submit scripts with attention. Where are the scenes? Where are the scenes that meets the cultural content criteria? After that, only you get your grant. So that's why in the film, like a gangster film, you know, Yellow Sea, people gonna tumbuk, whatever, whatever. After that, they go into a coffee shop, restaurant, makan, where's my kimchi? But the point is, the content, yeah. They flood the festival. People only want to see 1 or 2, they send 10 Korean films. So 2 will be in competition, 8 out of competition. So with that singular policy, and of course they have the money. And surprisingly, the money is not all from the government. If Hyundai wants to expose their new car, you pay for the film. Product placement. You want to make Perak the preferred choice for international productions? I can do it. Yeah, of course I can do it. People will say, how? Yeah. Next year, Global Locations Expo in Los Angeles, we go. But from now to that time, photographers must be hired to take our limestone caves, whatever, and then you must learn, how many films, how many locations in Asia can be duplicated here in Ipoh itself, or in Perak. That's what I wanted to do with Belum. This is how it happens. You go to US, Los Angeles, you make friends with the studio. There is a group of profession there called production or line manager or location scouts. Make friends, so kena belanja sikit lah. Small money go out, big money hoping to come in, right? So, I go and take them to, pizza or whatever. They all nak mabuk lagi bagus. We all stick to Coke only, it's okay what? I've learned the art of being mabuk only with Diet Coke. But the point is, when they mabuk, they tell me more about what I can do next. Hey guy, that kind of thing. So what do I tell them? Brother, your script, any more Vietnam films or not? Vietnam War. Yeah, there's a plan to make a film about Vietnam War. Malaysia can look like Vietnam, Give you a website, I'll give you a photo. At that exhibition, we say we are the melting pot of Asia. Yeah? You want to make a film that setting in Japan. Anyway, cinema is one big lie anyway, isn't it? Yes. Yeah? Somebody come down at the airport, they put the John Kennedy Airport. Apa Kennedy Airport? For those of us who have been there, that's not Kennedy Airport, kan? But who cares? Yeah? 90,000, 9 million people who watch it will not know the difference. So, that's where we come in. Perak. And then I went to see Belum, and I cakap, Belum ni can become Vietnam lah. Belum ni can become Cambodia. Belum can become Philippines. So in other words, we sell Belum as the location for Asia. Belum can double up even for Costa Rica. So in short, Predator boleh buat kat situ. I mean, you can produce something like that. You want to make a film about the Vietnam War, Apocalypse 2, part 4? Belum. You want a town that looks like Manila when the Japanese occupied them. There, Sungai Siput. Kuala Kangsar also, near the river, I can show. That is economic. Everybody failed to realize that the Rolling Stones is still contributing to the UK GDP until today. the songs of the Beatles, although they were bought by Michael Jackson, but now still the point is, properties like that are still there. Star Wars franchise, you see, they fail to recognize. Spice Girls alone brought how much money to the British GDP? And the most telling of all, one film production will automatically employ what, 400 people? 500? So those figures are not taken in. That's why we are always seen as, okay lah, you buat the film, and then buat the TV drama, and then balik, without the repercussion. But Ipoh could also be a festival for youth, the Young People Film Festival. Or Perak is full of history. It could be a film, a documentary, maybe not even a feature film, you know. Like nobody knows how the town Taiping got the name. We have to find a niche. Where do you want to go? But Ipoh is right smack in Perak, a very historical, you know, rich state. So maybe the festival can be, yeah, history. I mean, example. But Ipoh can be what? Independent film festival. The festival in Malaysia that gives the independent filmmakers their best shot at stardom. So the eligibility criteria could be, number one, you must be an independent filmmaker, and your film is about youth. So we could become a mini Sundance. Sundance. Sundance is about all the films that normally the mainstream may not take. But although Sundance also is becoming mainstream, but you can't help it lah. Because but in the beginning, Sundance was like a niche for the independent film scene. This kind of knowledge should be passed to the younger generation. So Ipoh has started. This is a community. This is where the beginnings. It doesn't matter, 3 people, 4 people, don't look for 100 or that. If you have 100 also, the majority are just posers, following the trend. All you need is the 3. The real 3, you know. And elephants can fly because the school here never teach. You see, when we were at school in the 60s, I think most of us would remember, we read poetry by Standard 5. I had to learn cannons to the right of them, cannons to the left of them. Into the valley of death rode the 600. At that time, Standard 5, we say, apa lah ni semua? Then you have to learn about what Robert Louis Stevenson, home is the sailor, home is the sea, and the hunter's home from the hill. Apa benda ni? 10 years later, we say, thank God we know about all that, apart from impressing your girlfriend with your own poems. Suddenly, to tackle anyone, say, poem will come in, like song lyrics. But eventually, I didn't become a filmmaker. But even in my work with Shell as an accountant, that creativity helps me to see things from a different view. And some of my friends who learn music and who later become engineers are even better. They know the piano, so they know just as much about arithmetic or maths or whatever as music. So, do not underestimate, and that's what I've been trying to do, Dato, for the last few years. The champion, we need a champion. I don't know who, but we say no more Piramli. Order. Hundreds of Piramli right now in primary school being taught to become politicians lah, lawyer lah, everything. You kill creativity the minute you enter primary school. For about 40 odd years now, I have been championing the cause of the arts in Malaysia. Meaning film is part of the arts, but I was for the overall arts. Because I believe arts in education, arts in everybody will help you in whichever career you take. You could have creative engineers, you could have creative accountants. So even if it's accountancy, if that accountant is familiar with the arts, for some reason, the way he looks at things can be a bit more with finesse. And I've always maintained that as a film buff, It is the least, what you call it, is the least situation where you cannot become a racist. If you love the cinema, you love the arts, you simply cannot become a racist or have any negative attitude towards other people, because you are watching films from Turkey, from India, from China, from an early age. So from that early age, the window to the world is already open. So there's no way. So I've always maintained that if you want to eradicate racism in this country, make everybody love the arts, because that will bring you into a different dimension altogether.